Hey, we're gonna let the algorithm let everyone know that we're here. And if you're new here, welcome. My name's Gabriel Stockton. We're starting a little early, but it's all good. So today's gonna kind of be a little quick one. I hope you're okay with a little quick Watercolor Wednesday. We got some wonderful good news that we got a young family member that's having a birthday. And what I'm gonna talk about today is just an impression. And so I know some of you that have been hopping on here, it's been late for you. So maybe you might want to do this one today because it's going to be quick. And so I have a little package come in the mail. And let's look at it. I'm kind of excited about these because we got a new drawing session coming up soon. So what I want to encourage you is to get a set of these because we're going to start doing some little quick studies. Now, I personally got these because I have a new master painting in our home by Neil Adams, who was known for Batman, and these were the kind of prisma that were used for it. So you can get these your local art store or go under Prisma under Amazon and just look up that, and you can get those ready because there are so many times when I went out on the field and Plein Air that I could do a real quick block study. So keep that in mind, all right? So with that said, we're gonna do, I know we haven't really done much with figures. I mean, we've kind of like played around, right? With just some simple characters and people just in our, paintings, right? And so with Comic-Con coming up and, with all the cool movies and stuff, but we're still into ruins. But we did do, several times we brought out Indiana Jones, right? And so I'm gonna do like just an impression. And what that means is we kind of want just like an idea. All right. Now, Indy is always like moving, and there's always action going on, right? And so I'm thinking, well, first of all, I hope you had a wonderful week. I got me some nice good old sun tea. It's nice and cold. Put in the chat what you're drinking. And hey, if by chance you I have this little template here, and what I'm thinking, actually, we'll just use this little guy here. So there's a thing called a thumbnail, and so maybe we'll have a chance to do two. I don't know. We'll see. We're waiting on. We have a family member that is about to give birth to some babies, but we also have another family member having a birthday, and it was today, but we typically, do that on the weekend. So I think we might be having a birthday party tonight. So this is gonna be a quickie. I'm just gonna use this Tops sketch card as a little, and then if we get time, we'll see what's going on. So I hope you had a wonderful week. Put in the comments. I love it when some of you are watching, and some of you watched all the way to the end. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I watched all the way to the end, Gabriel, and thank you so much. That does help this channel. What also helps this channel is the engagement. So we were looking at ruins, and so what I'm thinking is if I have my rule of thirds here, and if I come like so, so the rule of thirds is another interpretation is the golden or the tic-tac-toe board, right? And so we have our center of interest. So our center of interest is going to be Indiana Jones here. All right. And what I'm thinking is maybe here to about here we never want anything in the middle, all right? And on a person, what's good to do is one shoulder is higher than the other, and this body on an angle, like there's some action, all right? See how loose I'm doing this? I just got done watching a video on, not just now, but I was watching this video on another instructor explaining how he's fine with doing some erasing, and it really kind of, gets rid of that ego. And so this shirt's gonna come like this, and so I got an arm. There's a joint here where there's the elbow, and then there's a hand right here. Maybe the elbow's here. Here's a wrist, which is a cylinder that kind of, here is a fingers and a thumb, and then we're gonna have a whip. He's drawing his whip like that. And we'll bring this other shoulder down, and this arm here. Now we'll bring this hand like this. There's another hand, some fingers. Now I'm just getting the impression of the shape. Rolled up sleeves. There's some foreshortening here. It's kind of weird, right? And then there's shirt with the creases, and then he always has that satchel. And of course, now we've got to get this head in here, right? And so when you raise your arm, one ear kind of gets really close to your arm there. But he has that hat. He's always wearing the Indiana Jones hat. So down here we've got this like chin, and then his hat, right? So his hat comes down like this, And that kind of looks like a guy that picks strawberries. So this comes up bigger right in here. So he's got that cool like fedora, right? And then there's some shade under here. Now there's an ear. And then this jaw. And then he's always like sweaty, and clothes are kind of like always, you know, he always wears those light clothes that kind of move with his body. Down here is a little bit of his pants. Like this. This is gonna come up. Like so. And so that whip comes off of the thumb. Now, if you know anything about whips, you hold it up more closer than to the handle, just like nunchucks. Just so you know, just in case if you gotta fight some ninjas off this next weekend, right? And so we got a forearm. He does got some strong forearms. He's Harrison Ford, for Pete's sake. Now that's coming down like this. Now this is coming in. He's got that, always got that satchel, right? And so that satchel, we don't see it though. But that whip would be like this. Coming like that. Alright. And hey, who's on here? There's 4 of you. We do have mind your own business here. Alright. And why don't you tell everybody what you did this last week? You professional artists, because, you know, hobby artists don't do those kind of things. They just only paint outdoors on Sunday. So, way to go, Shirley. So, Shirley was at the fair. This elbow's got to pop out a little bit more. And that's going to go like that. And everything is in relation. This shoulder can come up a little bit more. And this kicks in a little tighter. Now, find my kneaded eraser. Surely, I can. Dun 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 dun. And here, yes. And here, no. Oh, over here where, you know, we started getting organized in the lab, but then we just, you know what? I had so much fun last night. I, for the first time, opened one whole box of superhero cards. I won it in a fundraiser raffle. I probably should have went to bed, but goodness gracious, I was just having way too much fun. And oh, I know where they are. They're right here. Right where I organized my organized, thanks to the movie producers over there. Oh my goodness. So now we just erase the whole entire thing. Like, oh my gosh, Gabriel Stockton. So we're gonna go over here and get some paint water ready. Now, here's one really good way that you can start a painting. I usually do it with a dog. That's right, a dog. Today I'm going to use the Cheap Joe's Lizard Lick. Now, I just heard that these are still going to be available. The Cheap Joe's website right now, I think it's just showing the American Journey paint, which is also sticking around. I don't know the complete answer to all those, but they are going to be available. So this is a great brush for me to kind of just get in here. And so these knuckles are here like this, and then this part of the hand. Now we get in here onto this forearm, and this is gonna come up because of this muscle, and then there's the elbow like this, and then down here is the forearm. Right in here, that it pops out like that. But what I'm gonna do real quick is grab me a paper towel and just drop some water in here. Now what it's gonna do is make this forearm 3D. So if you're a little leery about doing a figure, don't worry too much and sweat it, because I'm just using quinacridone deep, Quin Gold Deep. Now, we gotta save the whip for last, because that's the cool part. Alright, we get in here to this shirt. So first, just take that big shape of the shirt. Now leave a spot of air right there where his ear would be. So leave like a little, it's kind of like a, I don't know, jalapeno shape or something. There's a negative, positive shape right there. I'm now gonna create those folds by turning, check this out. I'm turning my paper, now just adding water like this, creating those folds. I'm gonna lift right like that. Now that arm kind of got away from me on this, so it's kind of gotta go more over. There we go. Look at that. Now this is gonna come, and I love this loose goose kit. Actually, I lied. It's a lizard lick. My bad. It looks like a lizard sticking his tongue out. Some of you have heard me say that way too many times. God bless your patience. Now I'm gonna go into here and go over here, and let's see, this is going to have some creases over this way. This is going to get all dark right in there with his skin, and this is all dark right under there with his hat. Might as well go ahead and put that whole hat shape in. And you're like, you didn't give us a reference photo. And that's because I want just an impression. I'm not going for picture perfect here, friends. We're gonna make this look like we've got a guy about to use this whip like it's nobody's business. All right. So with some water now, you gotta put paint down to take paint off. A good way to get some folds is to go where the stitching is and the creases. Right there in the armpit. Coming over here. This is now right into that cuff. Let's get under that arm. And let's get this hand in. You've got to have, with action, we've got to have like torque. There's movie, if there's energy moving this way, there's gotta be movement and stuff. So fingers that look like something like fingers like that. This is setting up for me. You see how dry this is? Not quite. It's getting there. So I can get away with using this chromatic look. You know, there's so many times that I'm just doing these quick pieces just to get familiar with my subject. You know, this is gonna be a really nice, well, not a thumbnail, but more like a swollen hangnail thumb. You ever get one of those those hangnails that swell up your toes? Yeah, probably can't wear your tight shoes. But yeah, who's judging here? So lighten that up. If you wait for the right timing, you can lift it, and it'll either pull it all up or it'll pull it just a little. So I appreciate some of you that reached out that want one-on-one lessons, since you've heard about my recent situation. So thank you so much. I'm happy to work with your schedule. And here we go with that arm right there. Now we gotta get back up in this one. Like that. So I'm leaving some light on the chin. It almost right now looks like he has a scarf. And then there is this collar. And I'm gonna check the comments just here shortly. Drop this hat down just a little bit more. It's coming right off of that. You know, Indy is like always in the rain. So this hat has to slope down a little bit more. Gets a little bit darker right in there. Where's our sun? We're always asking, where's the sunlight coming from? My sunlight is over here, bump, 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 like this. Now, we've got this other ear, and the ears are tucked under the hat, right about there. One small ear and one big ear, right over here, but not like he has headphones on. So that brim's gotta come out more. Like this, and this goes darker, and it goes actually a little bit taller. There we go. This is gonna come a little bit higher and darker. So I'm just building here. Just like, you know, if we were to like be doing some sculpture. So now I'm going after some browns. Not black yet. It's too early to go black. Once you go black, you can't go back. There we go. That goes darker there. This over here is usually that tired thing that we get under our eyes. Bags. Then we've got the face. Come out like this. There we go. Those fingers up and above are tucked in right here. So I'm able to work with my water management now. And I love this tip on this brush, and this is made by Escoda. And this comes in. These are some in between our fingers. This goes a little darker right here. Bam. And darker here now. We could build these values. This has to come in. That just looks horrible. And that elbow, get that elbow in there, Stockton. And Rouge better not be throwing no elbows. I don't think you could throw elbows in roller derby. Though they do though. They do them and they get sent to the penalty box. My daughter, yes, does roller derby. Bam. And there we go. Let's do these folds. You see what I'm doing? I'm starting back here up at the top again. And I'm going thicker paint, darker chroma. There's this wonderful thing. And, bum, bum, bum. So, I'm gonna check the comments. What are the things that you've been painting? I really appreciate the emails and texts. Somebody reached out. Way to go. Gets me super excited. And bam. And this is gonna come here. Bum bum bum. Nice. There we go. This gets a little more tighter. Right in that. Like that. Let's get back under this hat ear. And hat. Real dark right there. Oh. Bam. There we go. This here. See, it's not over till somebody sings something, or I don't know. This is coming out. And here. Bam. And there. Darker just a bit more. That hat is, I want that nice impression of the hat. Have we got a time yet, Amber?
No, when Sam got back to me, he said that they were already on their way over, so they'll plan something else.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, we'll just keep them in prayer for healthy babies being born today. Or whenever. Alright, under here is a nice little crease. And then this collar. And let's get that. And darker under there. This here. There we go. And quick. Right in there. And there is you know, Indiana Jones has those safari pocket guys. So pretty much just using the Queen Gold and yes, by Daniel Smith, and I am just, there's times when I'm using more water or more pigment, less water or less pigment. And this nice little tight details. That's what it's so great about this brush. I can have a nice big like that, or tight. All right, this is gonna come, the collar, and if the shirt is up like that, and then we tuck in that strap of, because whatever he is escaping with out of the wherever, he is, it's weighing down on him, right? And this gets a little bit darker over here in this armpit area. Now we got the back of that shirt. I need that glow, glow, glow. Meaning this, where this feels like, and there we go. Bam. This is gonna come down and over, and this is a little too dark on that side, so there's more light over here. Yeah, there you go. You gotta treat it like it's a stolen car. And now I can just fix that crease, just like that. See, that's what oil painters do. You know, they kind of just kill it and then go after it one more time. This comes here, boom, boom, nice. Now, this hand, I'm actually moved to a perla. So, this one holds a lot more pigment. And I'm gonna be using more of this brown and this red, because look how dark it already is. So this wrist is down here, and then that forearm, it goes from thin to thick. Like that. Okay. And then this is dark down there. We get a little glimpse of the shirt. So, hope you've been enjoying this series on ruins. And if you're new here, we kind of, everyone gangs up on me and we pick a subject. We've done all kinds of stuff. So there's a whole bunch of old ones to look at. And they don't gang up on me, but it's fun. They let me know what you want to learn how to paint, and we'll get a fun. Hey, there's 8 of you on here. Cool. Are there 8 thumbs up? There's 9 of you. There's 6 thumbs up. Cool. All right, this hand. Oh, look at this. This is either burnt sienna or Minnesota pipestone. These fingers are right here. This hand is right here. It's on like an angle. And I lost that strap somehow. Bam. There, he's back. Whew. Sorry, a little ADD moment there. We'll be alright. Alright. Now, I don't even know how to explain what just happened. I saw I needed more dark under that face and just did it. You kind of do that. What's happening is you come into, you kind of, some people explain it a little different. Some people explain it as your mind's eye, that you see it in your visually, instead of someone telling you to do this, you kind of see it done, and then you just come into agreement, because if it's comes into your mind in a positive way, you say, oh yes, I can do that with confidence. See, I had to go back up here where it kind of dried a little. Alright, that's too dark. And it's the wrong hue. It needs to be back to the golden. Alright, there we go. Back to the left hand. Here we got some fingers, and there's one there. Then there's a gap between the finger, and then there's another finger. There's a gap. All right. And then there's another finger, and then there's that one. And this comes here, and then there's one more, but it's tucked tighter. And then there's a thumb right here on, and he's got some knuckles. You're saying an impression. What's all this? Stick with me, kid. We'll go places. We'll paint things. We'll do stuff. We'll have a good time. So, yes, if it goes nicely, maybe it's a little more than an impression. Bam. And, I think we need to whip and nay this messy stuff. We'll make it look like he's behind a wall. How about that? Bum, 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 bum. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Now, the whip. Here's where people go wrong. They think they have to make this perfect, the thing. And I'm here to tell you, no. You don't want a perfect shape, all right? What you want, well, let me just show you. I'm actually going to turn it like this. Why? Because it's easier for me to do this than me to do this. Okay, so I'm going to be using my arm. Okay, and actually I think I'm going to turn it this way. Now I'm going to do it not in one swoop. That's the other place people go wrong. They think they have to do this in one swoop. So you want to get comfortable, and I can do what's called a ghost stroke. So I'm gonna come like this. Dun dun dun. It kind of gets like that. See that? Boom. Now if you keep going after that, you know what happens? You're like that guy that goes in and he comes out with, he goes in, trim his beard, and he comes out with a goatee. You're like, wait, what's going on? I'm actually doing this lovely action movement. Hang in there. So this is gonna come here. See that? What? So now it kind of goes off camera. I mean, goes off the page. And then I can tonally now make this impression background. I had a young lady coming in today, and she's a figure person, and she said, I probably should learn landscapes because I paint figures and my landscapes are kind of just like whatever. And this is what she means, just like doing these like whatever backgrounds. But when you do, cheers with my tea, I have already now kind of started to create some movement here. Okay. And I was just pulling a little bit of light off of his. And this hand's bugging me just a little bit. His fingers should be more like that. And yeah, I like that. I can go even just a little touch darker on this. Bam. And got that shirt. Now, it looks like a shirt or something weird is there, so I'm going to tone all that down. And this kind of feels like sand or something blowing up, right? There we go. Make sure if you're going to be using this, you got to put more pigment down to take off. All right. Check it out. Now, this is Kolinsky Sable hair. You're going to have to do the research, okay? What does Kolinsky Sable? It's a soft hair, holds lots of water, in a nutshell. I'm now using a brush that is not a soft hair. It's a stiff brush that holds more pigment. So, bum, bum, bum. Now, I'm back to my gold, going gold deep, and I need lots of pigment so it does almost like a dry brush. But it's not going to do dry brush over there because this paper's wet. So there's very little water. Alright, here we go. This is, the handle is heavy on, it's thick. I don't know if you ever held a whip. I think my stepdad brought me one back from Mexico one time. And I whipped it and it friggin' gave me a bloody lip. And now this comes around like that. See that ghost? I'm gonna check it. Feels heavy. Yes. A little darker here. A little darker here. Make it look like it's coming out of his hand. Now I come back. We got this next part. Now the whip is coming out in front. So I've got to come. Boom. So we're almost creating the wonderful golden mean. Yes. Almost. But not quite. Alright, look at that. Dun 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 dun. This is out of the picture, so that's gonna go bye-bye. Maybe darker stuff. Yeah, buddy, look at that. And so this is gonna get a little darker right here. Look at that. I'm now gonna get a little darker right in here. And I'm going back to the Queen Gold. And there's gonna be little bits and pieces. This thing is moving and he has whipped it out. And bum 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 there. Back here. Look at that. And here. Oh, no, darker. Here. Feathering. Wow. Good stuff. So this wonderful guy is coming to an end. And we want to consider doing more of these impressions to activate looseness. We're also activating the sensitivity of understanding the water to pigment ratio. I hope this was helpful. I know this is a short one today, and this is gonna be just a little more red right in there, and dark here. But are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you watching? Are you watching? Have you been on the Indiana Jones ride at Universal Studios or Disneyland? Some of you have been to Disney World. I'm not talking to you. Maybe you've been on all of them. Now I'm really not talking to you. We're fighting. Kidding. This is going darker here. Like that. Bam. I've got to lift this right there. That hat just went nice and light on his brim. You gotta put paint down to take paint off. If you really want to ruin your brushes really quickly, just keep scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and before you know it, you're gonna go, what happened to my new brush? So, who do we got here? Well, it's obviously Harrison Ford. And I hope this was helpful for you. I have enjoyed doing these, and we got Comic-Con coming up, and doing some new cool projects for that. Oh, the knuckle. Did I forget the knuckle? I did. So it's kind of like a little zigzag kind of guy. Bam, bam. Like that. And so getting ready to have my exhibit at the Comic-Con, and pretty stoked you can sneak by my studio and see some of the pieces. And we sold one well, we sold it the other day, but I was very grateful that one sold. And now I could do another one. It's all good. It was the Enterprise. I I did some Trekkie stuff. Any Trekkies out there? I'm not talking about you hiking people. I'm talking about like nerd stuff. Okay, just a little bit of Chinese white right in here on this forearm. Yeah, like that. And a little bit underneath it for his shirt down here. And that's nice. Soft and some of these little, there we go. Love it. So, wow. This almost could be a trading card in itself. We took like this case. Or actually, you know what? We've got these other cases. Where are you? Oh, over here. Over here in my organized. Nice little trading card cases. These are got UV ray. Fancy, fancy. So, I might do a little bit of extra little stuff, but that's a fun little one. Look at that. Da, 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 da. Nice. I'll probably maybe even bust out a little bit of watercolor pencils. And yeah, let me know in the comments how this went for you. And I'm gonna check the comments. What are you guys working on? What's new? What's shaking? I know what's going on with Marie. We just had a Zoom lesson, and Eric's knee deep in homework projects. And we got a new person on here that's going to start up taking some lessons because, well, hey, if you're persistent, getting a hold of me, we can get together and do stuff. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, look at that. Would you look at that? I am going to let that dry. And thank you so much. What's being said in the comments? What the heck? I saw comments earlier. Oh, here we are. Are you gonna get your own signatured Escoda set? I don't know, Eric. You want to write Escoda and tell him you'd like to buy a Gabriel Stockton set? Anna, hello. Back from my drawing class tonight. Perspective was a topic. Whoa. I'll share this out. Watercolor month. Hey, Gabriel. Where is everyone? You know, it's 4th of July. People are probably off doing, you know, getting ready for the holiday because, what, it's like Friday or something? And so, yeah. As you can see, how that's kind of setting up. And my watercolor pencils are out in the car. Sorry. But yeah, so if you're just now coming on, we're gonna start doing a drawing day. And I was talking about these Prisma here. And what's fun about the Prismas is, because I'm looking at that hat, and it's kind of bugging me. But if I were to zoom in on the hat, And if you've already bought a bunch of watercolor stuff, I get it. You're like, oh man, I gotta go buy some expensive Prismacolor pencils. Actually, these are a lot cheaper than when I was a kid. Oh my gosh. I worked for a whole summer just to get a 36 set. How ridiculous was that? So there's warm grays and cool grays and neutral grays. I'm gonna use 2 warm grays and a nice dark. So if I'm just looking at that upper part, like that hat, and I start out with this one here, building that brim of the hat, and it kind of does this thing like, I'm thinking of like a napkin that's sitting kind of on a table, but it kind of turns down. And then we've got the hat part that comes up, right? And then there's the brim, or not, well, the that really nice material, that stinking there's this edge that kind of comes up like this and goes down, and this comes up because the guy always grabs the hat like this in the front, and this comes here and it folds in, so it looks kind of worn like this. Now I can kind of round this, and then the head fits in the hat, so it's got to come in like this, okay? But he has ears, and so the ears are here. Now his nose is probably down here, and lips, and right now it's like super cartoony, right? And then like this chin, like this. Now what's nice is you've got this big end here, and now I can block in the shadow shape. Okay, I'm not the only one that says this. There's several people, and maybe you did hear it first. Now I can knock down the light by doing hatching lights like this. See that? And then there's the inside of the shirt like this, and it's back to hatching lines. And then there's the collar, and then this other collar here, and then this ear like that. And then we kind of get a glimpse of an eye, but not really. And then there's this part right here. You know, he's not super young, but he is handsome. Cheekbone, like this, and there's that collar of the shirt with the satchel. And then this is coming here, shirt, and then that arm was coming up, right? Like that. And then this shoulder down. So it's like we just zoomed in, right? I now can color this little section and bring these cross hatch marks this way. I go dark over here and some cross hatch marks that way. And this is where the light is. Now the hatching gets closer and dark. This part here is darker. This edge goes dark like that. this now has some lighting there, and then this is worn down and dark there. So we got a crease and like some shadows and a crease, and then the forearm. Okay. Then there's this lovely creases, and then there's the seam of the shirt. Way down here is the pocket. And there is, this comes like that. Now I get another value. I'm going a little bit darker. Here. That's lighter. My bad. So, I have used these before. I just went backwards. Alright, here we go. Psych for the second time. Oh, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I just hop in here. That's right, I just jump in the fire. Here we go. The thing that what happens with me is I have to talk to you guys and tell you my processes, and you know, if I'm doing this on my own, I just pick it up and just do. And not that this is a bad thing. But there's a difference when you're talking and then you're in your zone. You're like in your, not that I'm not in my happy place, but when you're in your zone, you just do. And then when you're having to explain what's going on in the brain, this comes up more. And it's gonna have to go one more value. And this. If you get that ear a little too dark on that lighter gray, it's okay. When you go into this dude with the darker gray, it's it kind of like yeah. There we go. Indiana Jones. Jonesy. Now we got a collar with the shirt, and we see that neck. And then this nice little dark, like there. And then we redefine that collar. And then, am I blowing your brain, Eric, because you just had to do all that perspective and now you're figure drawing? Perspective is very helpful, and then you have to toss it back out the window and then just paint again. It's a good time. So this cross hatching gets rid of the white, but it leaves light. Okay. there's that. This guy here. And we're almost done here. And so, thank you so much. What do you got on the easel? What are you painting? Put it in the comments. I'm curious. And you people that are catching the replay, appreciate you. Always saying hello, even though you can't make it because of jobs and you're on the other side of the planet and all that great stuff. I appreciate. I get those alerts on my not so great days, and it makes me chipper. And we got some shadowing here, but I gotta go back to the lighter color. So really, you could just get away with getting 3 different values. And now we need, it's not black, but it is dark. Oh, it does say black. See, that says 80%. Really get that sucker knocked out right in there. Don't make him look like a black guy. He's got a black eye though. Why doesn't Indiana Jones say something like Batman, like, I'm Indiana Jones? Maybe he does. There's this like gray underneath the lips forming the chin. So before I show you skin tones, friends, you've got to understand your values. I know we have someone on here who keeps asking about skin tones. I would love to do a Zoom on just skin tones. It would take a Zoom. Here we go. Ba-ba-bum. Can do that. You know, he's kind of frowning, maybe, when he's got that whip. Because he means it, like, get back. There we go. Oof. I've really made him upset now. Now I'm gonna get the black. The black has gotta go last. Because you want to do watercolors. And in watercolor, that's how we do. I'm gonna do this brim right here. That's gonna create that light and that eye socket. But careful, if you make that one crazy dark shape, he's gonna then have a patch for an eye. And I'm pretty sure you don't want your Indiana Jones with a poked out eyeball. This might be looking like that one guy though, not Indiana Jones. What's the guy from the Rescuer Down Under? He's like the guy they're trying to not let cut down the forest. Yeah, I just threw myself under the bus. This hat now has some character, and there's a nice dark right here. And so there's an app that will help you like do this. I'm not using an app, but it's called Value Study, and it will help you at the get-go of your journey, getting you to see those value shapes shadows. And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It was a pleasure to do another Watercolor Wednesday with you. Let's see who's joined us now. Yeah, that looks good. That'll suffice. So you got this guy with a whip, and then you're like, hey, who is that? And you look a little closer, and it's, uh-oh, Indiana Jones. Indy. Get back, I tell you. This shirt goes in more. And this is gonna go down, up, over, and that neck. Let's establish that neck one more time. This dark. So I don't want too much more on the darks, because if you get too much dark, right now it's got a nice little like ratio of dark to tonal values. Where's he at? All right. Thank you. I'm hanging up now. I appreciate you guys. Keep painting those wonderful, beautiful paintings. When you do these little value studies with some markers, you might already have markers. Bless your heart. This actually has to go out a little bit more. And here we go. Good times. I'll bring those a little bit closer. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah. What we got here? T-Kel in the house. And Anna and Eric. And some other people that didn't say hello. But it's all good. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you soon. And put in the comments what day of the week would be good for you. I know we've done them on like Thursdays. Let me know if Thursdays are good for a drawing class. Live. And alright. Toodaloo. It was nice chatting with you. And I appreciate you stopping by. Take care. Keep painting.